Hey everyone, I know not all of you are in BIO 112, but for those who are, and this is Chapter 1 review. I'm really liked having the flashcards we made in massage therapy. It really helped me, so I went ahead and made them for anatomy and physiology, and I went to the study session on Friday in Buford with Dr. Neely. So I'll start off with the notes that I took on that, and I'll explain them to you. I uploaded this little bit of notes onto our tclmassage@gmail.com Google Drive account. So if anyone wants to actually read them themselves, they can go and look that up. I sent out an email to everyone on Blackboard, so it has the password and everything. You can upload your own notes and read mine if that's all you want. So anyway, things that he talked about in length was homeostasis, to know the definition of homeostasis, what it does, aspects of including negative and positive feedback. We need to know what they do and examples of them. And for positive feedback, there's only the two examples of blood clotting and childbirth or labor. So, and then with homeostasis, he wants us to be able to define or describe the receptor, set point, and effector, and what those things are. The other thing that he went over in length was directional terms, from anatomical position, and which terms were synonyms like superior and cranial, and how to correctly use proximal and distal as pertaining to upper and lower limbs, and not for the body itself. The other thing that he talked about was the body cavities, and he went over this in the study session more than he did in any of our actual lectures in class. So I'll go ahead and let you know what it was. He went over serous membranes. He said they're found within the ventral cavity, the thoracic, and abdominopelvic. The two serous membranes in the thoracic are the pericardial and the pleural. And then he also wanted us to know that they are not literally on top of the organ. That would be the visceral membrane, or this, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then you have serous fluid, and then the pericardial or pleural membrane actually is the lining on top of all of that. So it's organ, visceral, serous fluid, and on top of that pericardial or pleural or whatever other membrane that is. And then in the abdominopelvic cavity, the peritoneum membrane. I don't know if I said that right. He wanted us to know that. Then he wanted us to be able to name the quadrant system, which not bad, but you have to remember that it's always from the patient's left and right, not our left and right. And then also the planes, or the, not planes, but the tic-tac-toe section as well. He wants us to be able to name each of the 9 squares and what organs can be found in those squares, and if certain organs cross the line between them. So that might, what he described, what would be a test question, it would be like this: what organs are found in this specific region, and then it would say like umbilical region or something like that, and you'd have to list the organs in that region. So I know in the lab as well as in our book there's some pretty good diagrams, and it lists and shows what's in each specific region. Okay, so that was basically what he went over for chapter 1, which if that's what's on the test, I'm not going to be happy because I studied so much more than just what he said. So we'll see. I made flashcards. This one says anatomy, and basically I took what everything said in the book or the definition in the back of the book if I didn't like the definition that was in the text. For the definition of anatomy, in the book it says, is the branch of science that deals with the structure of the body parts. And then a side note is their forms and how they are organized. Next, backwards, I'm out. Next is physiology, and it says it concerns the functions of body parts, what they do and how they do it. Sorry. All right. Next, he wanted us to know what an atom, a molecule, and a macromolecule was when he was explaining them, but the ones that he actually pointed out while explaining the PowerPoint was cell, tissue, organ, and organ system, and organism. So those are the ones I did. I didn't give note cards to atom, molecule, and macromolecules. So for cell, it's the basic unit of structure and function. That's what the definition was. For tissue, you probably can't see it, sorry. It's a group of similar cells that perform a specialized function. An organ is a structure consisting of a group of tissue with a specialized function. And then an organism is basically made up of organ system, which is a living thing, or the organism is a living thing. And it also goes on to say, and I wrote this, levels of organization. I'm sorry guys for the surprise pop quiz because I wasn't able to answer the question, but after he asked the question that resulted in the pop quiz, I asked him later, what answer did you want? And he wanted me, or us, to all say atomic level, molecular level, and cellular level, or the different levels of organization that body parts can be described as. So, yeah, I tried to answer more than what he wanted. I was going to give anyway, so I'm sorry. And then he did talk about this, and it was also in the PowerPoint, the requirements of an organism and the characteristics of life. I have no idea if we need to know this, but I wrote it down anyway. The requirements of an organism is water, food, oxygen, heat, and pressure. That's as defined by our books. He did go over like certain stuff doesn't need that or whatever, but I went by the book. Then the other one was characteristics of life. I put movement, responsiveness, growth, reproduction, respiration, digestion, absorption, circulation, assimilation, and excretion. Alright, homeostasis is a condition of stable internal environment, or a lot of us remember it as dynamic equilibrium. Kimberly. That's the way that she remembers it. So I don't know how he's going to want it worded, but whatever you remember. And then the homeostasis mechanisms are self-regulating control systems, and those systems, let me flip to the right page, are comprised of three things: receptors, set points, and effectors. Receptors provide the information about specific conditions, parentheses, stimuli, in the internal environment. A set point tells us what a particular value should be, like what the body temperature should be, or what's an average blood pressure. That would be a set point. And the third one is effectors. Effectors cause responses that alter conditions in the internal environment. The effectors are the ones that make the change. And then, of course, negative and positive feedback. Negative feedback is a mechanism that restores the level of a biochemical or other balance in an internal environment. The way that I remember negative feedback, as far as the definition goes, is an up or down movement, opposite or negative movement. So that's how I remember, because he was giving the example of a thermostat, and if you set it at 75 and it starts getting hotter than that, the AC will kick on and get it back to 75, and if it gets cooler than that, then the heater will turn on and get it back to 75. So it's an up or down to get the response that you want. And then positive feedback is a process that moves conditions away from the normal state. And the two examples of this in the human body are blood clotting and childbirth labor. And then I went ahead and included the membranes that he went over in the study group, and I also took the study group notes and notes from the book. So here goes. Parietal and visceral. Parietal membrane is attached to the wall of the cavity. That would be like example of a and I have no idea if I'm saying this right. This P-A-R-I-E-T-A-L. Parietal. Sorry. So for this, it would. I'm trying to find it in here. Sorry. Time out. Yeah, basically all it says is parietal refers to the membrane attached to the wall of the cavity, and visceral refers to the membrane that is deeper towards the interior and covers the internal organ. So like the visceral membrane that would cover a lung would be the visceral pleura? Yeah. And then the parietal pleura would be the it would be lung, visceral pleura, serous fluid in between that, and on top of that, towards the outside of the cavity would be the parietal pleura. And so hopefully you understand that, because I'm having a hard time just spelling these things. Anyway, the pericardial membrane it lines the mediastinum pericardial cavity, and the visceral pericardium covers the heart. And the thing that separates those two membranes is serous fluid. Okay, then I went into the different systems. My video is almost 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to keep studying, so probably see another video. Bye.